They thought it was over for you. They whispered behind closed doors. They laughed in circles you were never invited to. They watched you fall and fall and fall again, and each time they sharpened their smiles like blades, waiting for the moment you wouldn't rise. Because to them you were finished. They tried to bury you, but they forgot the soil they threw onto your name was fertile. They didn't bury you. They planted you. And oh, how wild you were always meant to grow. Let's start there, in the silence after the world walked away from you. Do you remember? The night your heart cracked quietly under the weight of disappointment. The morning your courage trembled. The moment your voice felt too small, too fragile, too forgotten. You stood alone with nothing but your breath and your heartbeat, and a pain so heavy you thought it might drown you. Because life didn't just test you, it cornered you. It kicked the floor from beneath your feet. It ripped doors from their hinges and forced you into darkness. They watched. They celebrated. They expected your silence to last forever. You were the broken one, the forgotten one, the abandoned chapter in their story. At least that's what they thought. But you were learning how to breathe in the dirt. You were learning how to see without light. You were learning how to sleep with uncertainty pressed against your ribs. And slowly, quietly, painfully, you were transforming. See, they expected the grave. They expected collapse. They expected surrender. They expected that the version of you they once knew, the one who loved loudly, trusted easily, cared deeply, would never return. They mistook your stillness for defeat. They mistook your absence for emptiness. They mistook your silence for surrender. But silence isn't always weak. Sometimes silence is sacred. Sometimes quiet is rebuilding. Sometimes distance is protection. Sometimes solitude is sanctuary. They thought you were breaking, but you were blooming roots beneath the pain. They just couldn't see it yet. You clawed your way through confusion, through doubt, through nights where sleep was a stranger and mornings held no promise. You stitched yourself together with trembling fingers. You held your breath when life suffocated hope. You walked roads that felt endless, with no one clapping, no one cheering, no one even noticing that you were still trying. That's courage. Not loud, not glamorous, but raw, aching courage. You didn't rise with applause. You rose alone. You rose trembling. You rose wounded. You rose unsure, but rise. You did. You crawled before you walked. You walked before you ran. And each step, each painfully small inch became proof. Proof that you were not done. Proof that your heart is unkillable. Proof that your spirit is not negotiable. They underestimated the one thing they couldn't measure in you, your fight. They threw stones, they threw rumors, they threw doubt, but stones become steps when you know how to climb. Every betrayal, fuel, every heartbreak, armor, every you can't, a spark. You burned, not with destruction, but with rebirth, because fire doesn't only destroy, fire purifies, fire reshapes, fire crowns the phoenix. You didn't just survive the flames, you walked out glowing. They waited for ashes, you gave them embers, they anticipated ruin. You returned wearing resilience like gold. You are not what happened to you, you are what you forged from it. That's when they panicked. Because the person they tried to bury, the one they left behind in a hole and called gone, started standing taller. Your voice didn't shake anymore. Your eyes didn't lower. Your presence didn't shrink. You stopped asking. You stopped waiting. You stopped needing. And suddenly, you were no longer a memory of who you used to be. You were a storm they never saw coming. They blinked and the ground shook. They looked up and the sky shifted. They whispered, "How? How did you rise? How did you grow from places they tried to poison? How did you build wings from wounds? How did you rebuild without them?" And the truth burned them quietly. You didn't need them. You never truly did. You were always enough. They just hoped you'd never realize it. Did they really think you'd stay broken? Did they really think that pain would paralyze you forever? Did they really think the universe would abandon a soul like yours? Number, you learned, you evolved, you sharpened in silence. They wanted you small because small things are easier to control, but you outgrew the frame they built for you. Now look at them, uncomfortable in your strength, threatened by your peace, confused by your glow. They cannot comprehend a soul like yours because they have never faced themselves the way you faced your shadows. They ran from their darkness. You danced with yours until it bowed to you. They feared rejection. You learned to breathe alone. They hid from truth. You shattered illusions. You didn't just rise, you ascended. And now your presence demands respect. Your silence screams power. Your resilience intimidates. You walk differently, with knowing in your eyes, with serenity in your chest, with fire in your bones. You're not seeking validation. You're not chasing approval. You no longer bleed to be understood. You simply exist, and that is enough to shake the ground. Your blooming became your revenge, but not the kind they expected. Not loud, not cruel, not vengeful. Your revenge was peace. Your victory was growth. Your triumph was the life you built without needing to hurt anyone to prove yourself. You didn't just rise once. You rise every day. Every time you choose peace over chaos, you bloom. Every time you speak truth without trembling, you bloom. Every time you show up for yourself, fight for your dreams, honor your worth, protect your energy, walk away from what tries to shrink you, you bloom again. And they watch. Oh, they watch. They watch from far away, bleeding envy quietly, whispering excuses to make sense of your glow. It was luck. It was timing. They changed. They got help. Number. You got strong. You got disciplined. You got wise. You got tired of breaking for people who never learned how to hold you. And so you rose. Not by chance. By choice. They thought your softness was weakness. They didn't know softness is where the lightning sleeps. You became the storm. Thunder in your heartbeat, lightning in your truth, rain in your mercy, wind in your rise. They cannot stand in weather like you, because while they built comfort, you built character. While they chased noise, you cultivated soul. While they collected applause, you collected strength. You are not fragile. You are focused. You are not wounded. You are awakened. And nothing is more powerful than a soul that has walked through hell and learned it could breathe fire. Now look at you, standing in the light you created, breathing air you earned, living moments you once prayed for in secret nights, not needing them, not chasing them, not proving anything. You became your own validation. You became your own power source. You became your own savior. And they remain where you left them, lost in noise, afraid of silence, confusing attention with respect, mistaking comfort for growth. You grew because pain became your teacher. You bloomed because resilience became your soil. You rose because destiny does not bow to doubt. Not a crown of ego, but a crown of earned grace, heavy with lessons, shining with humility, rooted in truth. Your crown is invisible to the careless eye, but the wise feel its weight in your presence. You don't walk like you're better than anyone. You walk like you've survived what they couldn't. And that is power, not dominance, not arrogance, presence, a presence born from rebirth. They tried to bury you, but seeds are buried too, and seeds grow. They tried to silence you, but silence is where power whispers. They tried to break you, but breakage is where light enters. You were never dying. You were germinating. You were never finished. You were forming. You were never lost. You were becoming. And now you bloom where they least expected, in soil they swore would kill you. Your roots go deeper than their doubt. Your petals shine brighter than their judgment. Your growth speaks louder than their gossip. You do not rise to spite them. You rise because you were born to. So hear this. They tried to bury you, but you bloomed, not in spite of them, because of who you are. You are the storm they could not predict, the seed they could not kill, the flame they could not extinguish. You are the bloom in the dirt, the rose in the rubble, the miracle they tried to destroy. And every sunrise from here on whispers your truth. You were never buried, you were planted. And now you rise, bloom fiercely, bloom loudly, bloom eternally. The world hasn't even seen your fullest season yet. And still, your journey isn't finished, because blooming wasn't the final chapter. It was only the beginning of your becoming. There will be days ahead where the world feels heavy again, where doubts creep like shadows across your horizon, where memories of old wounds whisper, "Can you really keep going?" And in those moments, you will pause, not because you're weak, but because you're wise. Because you learned that reflection isn't retreat, it is preparation. You know now that strength is not in never falling. It's in standing again with deeper roots and wiser eyes. You see, growth never promised comfort. Evolution never promised ease. Flowers do not bloom without seasons. Stars do not shine without night. And strength does not exist without struggle. And you are all three. A season, a star, a strength that life itself had to acknowledge. There will be people who come back not with apologies, but with curiosity. They will look at you with confusion, as if trying to decode the language of your peace, the confidence in your silence, the softness that becomes steel when necessary. They won't understand that while they sought validation from noise, you found power in quiet. While they searched for recognition from others, you learned to recognize yourself. Some will call you changed. You will smile because you didn't change. You return to who you truly are. The world tried to shape you into something smaller, but your soul refused the shrinking. Now your presence doesn't shout, it resonates. Your voice doesn't beg, it declares. Your heart doesn't chase, it knows its worth. And yes, challenges will still find you, but now you greet them differently. Where once you trembled, now you breathe. Where once you questioned, now you trust. Where once you rushed, now you know. Destiny doesn't need speed, only faith and consistency. You will meet new opportunities, new people, new storms, new miracles. Some will elevate you, some will test you, but you will walk through each with a calm fire, knowing that nothing life brings can erase what you've already become. You are not fragile anymore. You are not waiting anymore. You are not searching anymore. You are building. You are becoming. You are blooming. Still, again, always. And one day, you will look back at every tear, every silent night, every moment you thought was the end, and you will whisper with gratitude, not pain, "I was being prepared." The world hasn't seen your peak. They've only witnessed your rise. Your story is still stretching toward skies no one else can see yet. So continue, boldly, gently, fiercely. Continue blooming where doubt once lived. Continue rising where fear once spoke. Continue walking in the direction of your calling, not their expectations, because you were not made to be understood, you were made to be unforgettable. And the universe has not finished clapping for you yet.